Hey, this is Al Duncan, Master Soft Skills Trainer and publisher of DuncanNuggets.com, and you are listening to the final part of a three-part series on soft skills. Now, in the first two parts of this series, we talked about two questions. The first one is, what are soft skills? Can you give us a definition that is clear, concise, and compelling? I certainly can. Duncan Nugget number 144. Soft skills are personal abilities that help you perform better and get along better with other people. Now, in the second part of this series, answer this question. What are the most important soft skills to master? That was easy also. Duncan Nugget number 47. Focus on your strengths, manage your weaknesses. I took soft skills and we broke them down into 5 clusters for you. Communication skills, decision making and problem solving skills, teamwork and collaboration skills, self management and professionalism skills, and finally, leadership, influence, and persuasion skills. 5 clusters, and somewhere in there are some strengths for you, and you focus on the ones that you're best at. You manage your weaknesses. You should be at least adequate at your weaknesses, but you spend most of your time, energy, and effort on your strengths. And now let's tackle this final question. How can you use soft skills to build your competitive advantage? All right, first things first. Soft skills is kind of a newer term. The earliest I ever saw it pop up in the research I've done was maybe like in 1972. There was an old Army manual that they were using for employment, and they referred to the term soft skills. So that's relatively a new term in regards to human history. So it's a new term, but it is the same skills, the same set of skills that have helped exceptional people and great individuals do what they do since the dawn of the human race. If you look at anyone who has achieved a high level of success in just about any walk of life, I guarantee you that you will find soft skills that help them to separate from the competition and help to elevate them above whoever and whomever they were dealing with. It helped them solve the problems. It helped them change the course of human history. So these are the same skills that we're talking about when we say soft skills. Now, you can see them all over the place. You see them in centuries-old proverbs and maxims. There's a quote that I love. It's an ancient Egyptian quote. It's thousands of years old. Be skilled in speech so that you will succeed. The tongue of a man is his sword, and effective speech is stronger than all fighting. It's a soft skill. It's about communication skills. And I love Aesop's fables, full of all types of wisdom about soft skills also. If you look at any religious text, I don't care, take your pick, any religion you want to talk about, and you will find a lot of information and a lot of wisdom and advice regarding soft skills. Me, myself personally, I like the wisdom of King Solomon, the book of Proverbs. Now, if you look at philosophers from Socrates and Aristotle to Sun Tzu, The Art of War, Ralph Waldo Emerson, they all talk about soft skills. They might not use the term, but they're talking about them. And of course, grandma. That's right. Everybody has some older person in their life, an aunt, an uncle, a grandma, grandpa, a mentor who is running around with these little sayings and little phrases that either get on your nerves, and even if they do get on your nerves, they help you out a whole lot. I remember we used to hear this all the time. Baby, you had 2 ears and 1 mouth because you should listen twice as much as you talk. Now, you know what? This is actually true. It is very good wisdom. Of course, they had a hard time getting me to listen to that when I was younger. It was like, this boy's mouth is always running. But nevertheless, you can see that these terms have been around for quite some time. Now, we talk about new hard skills, technical skills. They're constantly being developed. 100 years ago, nobody needed to know how to program a computer. There was no coding. 50 years ago, there was no app store. We didn't need to know how to develop apps. We didn't need to. There's an app for that. No, there wasn't. Not 50 years ago. Okay, new hard and technical skills. That is, discipline-specific knowledge is constantly being added. But soft skills tend to remain the same. Now, soft skills are great predictors of future success. They are. The research is overwhelming. Take your pick. As I said earlier in this series, I like the research of James Heckman, Nobel Prize winning economist, always talking about the value of investing in soft skills training for early childhood. Okay, and he uses the term non cognitive skills. But if you look at people, even in anecdotal evidence, and you start talking about great people, you say, well, what did you see anything in him or her, when they were young? And say, oh, sure, he was extremely creative when he was young, or she was extremely self-disciplined when she was young. You can see these indicators far before someone becomes successful. And so that is why when people are assessing your skill set and your mindset, they look at soft skills because certain ones have a great indication of where you may end up in the future. Now, of course, they're highly valued by colleges and employers. I mean, there's a premium value on soft skills. As a matter of fact, there was this report that came out not too long ago by McDonald's in the United Kingdom and said that soft skills was going to be worth about 88 billion pounds to their economy. That's the equivalent of 135 billion US dollars. Okay, soft skills are worth to the economy. And so regardless of what you're looking at, colleges, employers, grad school, yeah, I filled out a recommendation one time for someone who I was mentoring to go to an elite graduate school. He was working on getting his MBA. And I'm looking at this recommendation for him, and every question that they asked me had something to do with leadership, had to do with his decision making, his problem solving, wanted to know about his integrity and his honesty. They were really finding out what was going on with his soft skills. And you know why? Because there was no room on the transcript for soft skills. So therefore they had to ask about that, and they placed a premium value on it as well. Soft skills are transferable. Now, earlier in the series, I threw out a big word. It said high order cross-disciplinary skills. I got that from a report on MetLife. It just simply means that once you have a set of soft skills, you take them wherever you go. They transfer from one career to another. So I used to be a professional saxophone player. When I stopped being a saxophone player and I became an executive chef, I took the self-discipline, the work ethic, the ability to practice, the ability to grind through things and watch them come to fruition, not instantly but slowly. I took that with me from being a musician to being an executive chef. And then as an executive chef, I had to learn things like leadership skills, team building and teamwork. I had to learn how to be organized, how to put a schedule together, how to manage people. And you know what? I'm able to take that with me into being an entrepreneur, into being a speaker and a trainer. These things are transferable. The things about soft skills is that once you have them, you have them. And this is extremely important, especially if you're a millennial, because I read some research that said millennials will actually change jobs or change careers an average of 6 times. Not jobs, not 6 different jobs, 6 different careers. That's crazy. So make sure you work on your soft skills. They're transferable. And to me, one of the most important things is that they can be improved. They're not set in stone. It's not like your IQ, where they say, you're born with a certain amount of intelligence or a capacity for learning. It's not like that. Your EQ, this is your emotional intelligence, your grit, persuasion, leadership, communication skills, problem solving, decision making, all of these things you can get better at. So now if you can get better at them, of course the question is how do you get better? So how can you improve your soft skills? I'll give you a couple things and then we'll get out of here. Number one, deliberate practice. Deliberate practice is to engage in a highly structured activity. It's got to be structured, and it's designed with the intent of giving you immediate and effective feedback that will help you improve your performance. Okay, so you want to find some things that you can work on every day. This is what great people do in any profession, whether it's an athlete, whether it's a musician or a business professional. They work on things deliberately so that they can assess where they are and then figure out what they need to do to improve. The next thing is experience. Now, I don't necessarily mean on the job experience. I know if you're a young person that is hard to get. I'm talking about volunteer experience. One of the things I did is when I first became a speaker, I actually volunteered at the YMCA. That's where I first became a youth advocate, and I was running a program, the Young Achievers program. I was the steering committee chair, and I put together a 22-week soft skills curriculum for them. So every Saturday, I was up in front of the room. Not only was I up in front of the room working on my speaking skills, but I was also working on my planning and organizational skills because I had to get everything organized and get this thing together. And then when they voted me the steering committee chair, I got a chance to practice my leadership skills and my team building skills as well. So you can get a lot of practicing on your soft skills by experience. Soft skills is one of those things where you can't just listen about them. You can't just listen to information about them. You can't just read about them. You got to actually get out there and do them. And of course, the last thing is my shameless plug. Check out DuncanNuggets.com. There are a ton of free soft skills resources over there, dozens of videos, articles, and activities that will help you build your soft skills. So before we get out of here, one more time. Duncan Nugget number 144. Soft skills are personal abilities that help you perform better and interact better with other people. If you want to get academic, just for the sake of putting it in the dictionary, soft skills are personal abilities that improve human performance and facilitate effective interactions amongst people. $1,000,000 question. What action steps will you take to improve your soft skills and build your competitive advantage? Hey, this is Al Duncan. You've been listening to a 3-part series on soft skills. It has been my pleasure. Until next time, be safe, be well, and be blessed.